Hello, my name is Joshua Nygaard, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of the Survival Corps instruction videos, and this is an introduction to KAPAP. So, KAPAP is a combat-based defense system that was developed for the Israeli Defense Forces. Now, it's a modern system in the sense that it includes modern weapon systems, such as firearms, knives, and batons, but you can also just use it as a basic hand-to-hand defense system and very advanced hand-to-hand system. So you'll see as we go along what you can do with it, why it's so important, and why it's important to the Survival Corps mission statement. The basis behind KAPAP is to survive, to get in and get out and maintain your health, functionability, and safety versus staying there and just beating the crap out of someone, and putting yourself at further risk. So, all right. Anyways, so we're going to go over some basic aspects. First, it comes into stance. This is called the neutral stance, and this is fairly common amongst other defense systems and martial arts systems, but you'll be into stance just in your normal activities throughout the day. So you may be at the store waiting in line, standing at the ATM, whatever you're going on. A lot of times you'll find yourself in this comfortable parallel shoulder width stance. All right, so you can do movements from here: strikes, open palm, closed fist, elbows, things like this from the stance, and we'll work on that as well. But what we're going to talk about is moving from a neutral stance to an aggressive and a defensive position, and this is very, very simple. So starting from a neutral stance, if you're going to go to an aggressive stance, meaning that you're going to take on the attacker, you're going to become the aggressor and start attacking the threat. So you just step forward. It's just a partial step. You go forward, both feet are pointed in the direction of the threat. There's a little bit of bend in your knees so that you have some stability, balance, and comfort, that you're not going to wear yourself out trying to stand here and deal with the issues that are happening around you. Second, your hands are going to come up to a defensive position such as this. You always want them to be up and ready to defend against strikes, move in for grabs, whatever you need. So starting from a neutral position, and even for certain cases, if you're a security guard or in a position where you should already be expecting a threat, you can take a position of a more aggressive passive position by keeping your hands ready in a position here where you can immediately move your hands up, because from here it's very difficult to start to defend. So anyways, an aggressive stance, a defensive stance. The only difference is you're taking the opposite leg and you're stepping backwards, still forming this combat ready stance. A little bit of bounce, both feet pointing towards the target or towards the aggressor, hands come up to a defensive position. All right, I'm going to show you from the other side. So neutral, defensive, aggressive. They're not different, it's just which way are you moving? How are you feeding the flow of the situation? Am I going to step back to try and handle the situation, or am I going to step forward? Once you're in this position, there's two types of movements that we're going to go over. There's a shuffle, which is just the lead foot steps forward, the back foot follows back into the combat stance. All right, or you shuffle back, all right, or you actually step through all the way. So you just switch legs, but you're still maintaining a defensive or a combat applicable stance. Basic strikes. We're going to be starting in the combat stance, right? So feet facing the target, the toes of your feet pointed in the direction of your target, a comfortable distance apart. You should be comfortable and able to move, okay, in this situation. So get your combat stance, hands up, ready to defend, and the strike, you can come from an open hand position to a closed hand to strike, okay? So it's going to be a straight shot to the target, whether you're contacting with the chin, the face, and the nose. You're coming in for an open hand strike, same deal. This is very effective as well. Let's talk about striking with your fist. Okay, so when you start making contact with a solid object and you don't have padding or gloves on, you're going to realize that it may be more painful depending on how you're actually striking the target. Okay, there's two strike points on your fist. You have the lower three knuckles, which seem to form a flat position against the target, and then you have the top two knuckles. And it's important to work with both. And over time you may even realize that you're able to strike with a full fist. Instead, as the wear and tear on your body starts to take place, it'll seem like it flattens out your knuckles to a degree. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what you want to do, but this is the process that can happen. So when you strike, you come in to strike, you want to make sure that you have the full strike pad against the target. And if you're able to see in here, you can see that this top knuckle is not necessarily making contact with the target. But you can also practice with this where you're striking with the top two knuckles. Okay? And it's important to work all strike points of your weapons. And this is the same thing with your palms. So a forward palm is going to be striking with the lower portion of your palm here, which is in line with the skeletal system in your arm. So when you come in to strike, the actual strike point is here, and the rest of your hand becomes a distraction for the target, where you'll take over the face, grab onto items of the face such as ears, hair, and the nose, you know, to confuse or create a level of discomfort for the target. All right. So again, straight punches. All right. You want the motion to come from your hips. I mean, this is basic stuff that comes along with most fighting stances or fighting systems. So when you punch, it's not about just doing this. You want your body to move into it. So you should be rotating your hips to make contact. Alright, same thing with your palms. Immediately come back to a defensive position. Alright, your hands don't have to be closed all the time, and I suggest against it, because if you're going to try and work in grabs or use your hands, it feels much easier to me to have them open and ready for that application. And so as you're coming in to strike, you'll close your hand and make contact. And this is why it's important to just go slow with this process. You don't have to get in here and start punching fast. It's better to train your body to move correctly, exaggerate the movements so that your body learns what it's supposed to do. So under pressure and stress, you just do it. Okay? So again, the fundamentals of a straight strike in KAPAP. All right, a straight line to the target. You're not turning the fist, it's just straight into the target. Why? It's harder to block, less tell, takes less time. It's just a more direct approach to contacting the target and moving on. All right, so straight punch, right cross. You have hooks, same thing. Now in the hook, it's really just you're gonna make the formation to hook across the body, but it's here. You're not swinging your arm necessarily. It's here, and you're moving the body to make the hook. All right. So straight punch, right cross, left hook, right hook. And then an uppercut, same thing, straight. So you're not coming in like this, it's a straight punch into the target. Straight punch. All right, these are important concepts. These are the basis of the system, and these apply to other systems as well. So let's take your time, move slow, and work through it. So right cross, left hook, right hook, left uppercut, right uppercut. Okay, you can work with these and you can mix it up, whatever you like. So, you know, just get in there and start moving. Train your body to deal with these movements. You also have, now these are medium range attacks, okay? So you still have some distance between you and the target. You're extending your arms out to keep the distance and make contact. You also have close range. This is close quarters combat, which is what the KAPAP name translates into. It's combat face to face, okay? So when you get in here with your elbows swinging in, we'll go more over elbows later and how to apply them.